Hey everybody, what's up? I'm Dylan D. Welcome back to the channel, and it's time for another video. The tutorial that I have here for you today is on this beast. It is the Basalt Pathway Maker, in which, I was feeling some inspiration after seeing Mumbo and Ilmango make their little pathway machines. Obviously, you can tell here, big shout out to Ilmango for the entire front piece of this machine. And then Mumbo had some pretty cool ideas as far as how to make the pathway look even crazier, kind of do your own stuff. I've just figured, of course, that, hey, let's just take that to an extreme. Then we got this pathway here. It even has like kind of like the sidewall to it as well. Go ahead and get some fire going. But yeah, you have the sidewall to it as well. Is just super nice. You even have like the super big trigger that sets it all off at once. But yeah, no, as far as that, this thing, it's not like impenetrable to like lava blades, everything like that. You want to make sure that all your lava blades and everything are cleared up out of the way. But once you have that, this beast is ready to go. I'll be taking you through how to build it today. And definitely, you guys, if you want to see more builds like this, this obviously been pretty ridiculous. This one's pretty advanced. If you guys want to see more builds like this one, definitely don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about this build as well. But yeah, no, as far as that, I'm going to teach you how to build it there. But yeah, it's an advanced build. It's not hard to build. It's not hard to follow the tutorial. All I ask, of course, is that you get very familiar with that pause button. After every few blocks or whatnot, definitely pause the pause the video, because this is definitely more of a confusing tutorial. But yeah, no, other than that, let's just go ahead and jump right in. All right, so for this build, you will need 2 stacks of observers and 51. You'll also need 1, 2, 3 stacks of slime blocks and 56. You'll need 1 stack and 41 honey blocks. You'll need 2 stacks and 52 sticky piston, 40 piston, 36 block of choice, 16 soul soil or soul sand. You'll need 16 blue ice, has to be blue ice, 16 immovable blocks, 12 redstone blocks, 14 glass of choice, and then 8 light of choice. Honestly, with the light of choice there, you can just do it as glass as well if you wanted to prevent lag as far as light updates, etc. But yeah, once you have all of your materials, you're ready to start building it up. But just real quick as well, this little area that I've kind of set up, I've cleared out this big O area here, will be coming off of the end 8 blocks, 5 to 8 blocks. It's up to you. You can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and start there. But best thing to know is that this is 16 blocks wide. You just want to make sure, but it's very flush, so you'll just want to make sure that this block on the outside over here is clear of anything, so no slime blocks pick up anything. And then same on this side. Here's your 16th block. You want to make sure that this one's good. So you want an area of at least 18 blocks this way, and then it's going to be 38 blocks long. So yeah, just keeping that in mind when we start it all up. All right, so what I'm going to do is show you 2 different ways that you can actually go about seeing underneath the lava and it not being so foggy. The first one will be in creative, the second one will be in a kind of survival standpoint. But the first one for the creative mode is pretty easy. First, you want to make sure that you come out from the shore of wherever you're at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 blocks. And then once you've done that, we're going to count out 16 blocks total right here. Now, as far as that, this is just like a marker at the moment, just so I know where I'm going to be placing everything. And if you'd want, you can actually go ahead and place in your blue ice right here, because this is actually where it will go. So yeah, once you do that, the creative way is actually a way that Mumbo found out in his video about his path maker. If you actually go to your teleport feature, as far as like your commands, you actually go to the specific Y coordinate. As you can actually see, I've teleported there already. It'll be 30.26893. All right, cool. And then that's bam. Now, as you can see, this is kind of like the thinnest. I was able to get the little lava blade right here to where you can actually see underneath it. This is obviously where we're going to be doing the whole build. You just want to make sure that the front part is 8 blocks out and that there is a 2 block area that is clear as well from there. But yeah, once you have this, you're ready to start building. But I'll also show you the way to do it in survival as well. The survival way is just a little bit messy, but honestly, if you are wanting to build it in survival, it's not really that difficult. You just want to make sure that you're loaded up on your fire resistance potions, definitely. And then when you come out to this point, when you count out 8 blocks from the shore, again, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then this is the 8th block. Once you've done that, you can actually have your fire resistance potions on, and then you can drop into the water here, or the lava, and then you want to try and go ahead and place a block underneath this corner edge here. Ooh, if I can do it. There we go, perfect. Once you have that, you can actually go ahead and kind of double it up. So you want to go something like this, all the way down with your temporary blocks. Making sure that there's 2 blocks there, one underneath the ice and then one on the outside here. I'm just using whatever block of choice that came to mind. And then after you've done that, you're going to go ahead and blow those out. And you just want to make sure that the lava updates properly so you don't get any kind of ghost air blocks in there. Cool. Okay. All right, now once you've done that, you can actually see there's kind of a curve to the lava, in which if we were to go underneath it here and then push ourselves up against that ice, we can see underneath the lava. This is kind of my my survival life hack. If you do want to see underneath the lava in survival in build, this would be the best way to do it, because then you obviously it'd be a little slow, but then you can place your blocks where you need to, up to about like right there, and obviously you can extend this out if need be, and you can kind of go a little bit further out, but right there is where it's going to get a little foggy. But yeah, as far as that, that's how you do it in survival. All right, so once you have figured out how you want to see through the lava here, we're going to go ahead and start placing some blocks. So on the edge of your 16 row area, on one of the edges, doesn't matter, I'm going to start on this side. I'm going to go ahead and place in a temporary block. I'm actually going to be using some soul soil for my temporary block, and then you want one more piece of soul soil right underneath it, actual piece. Then you can get rid of your temporary block, and then yeah, obviously that'll happen. But then we're going to come around this way, and then we're going to go ahead and count. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. On the 4th block, we want to go ahead and place a sticky piston facing this way. There should be 3 blocks in the middle. Next up, we're going to place 16 sticky pistons total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Should line up, of course, with that edge as well. Now, once you have this, what we're going to do is turn back around, and we're actually going to place the rest of our soul soil here. And it'll just be obviously all underneath that's blue ice. So we'll even it out. Cool. So yeah, it'll look like this so far. Next up, we can grab our observers, and we want to place them coming off of that soul soil like so. Next up, what we're going to do is grab our blocks of choice. We're going to place them all along those observers. And then our sticky pistons again. Our sticky pistons are going to go all along right here. But yeah, you should be looking at something that looks like this. Once we have this, it's actually going to be a little bit simpler. We're going to start up here more on the top. So from on the back of, actually on the top of this ice, what we're going to go ahead and do is place down some observers. They're going to just go ahead and run the entire length of the blue ice as well. All right, now once you have that, you can go ahead and grab your sticky pistons. You want to go ahead and flood those as well. Okay. Now once you have done that there, you can go ahead and grab either honey blocks or slime blocks. I'm going to start off with honey blocks. That's just because that's the way that I built the machine. But we're going to go back and forth, and we're going to make this pattern here where we come off 4 blocks. On this block we come up 1. And then we want to grab an observer, place it here, and then we want a regular piston on the top of that, like so. Now, once you have this, we're going to come down to the bottom area on the bottom of these honey blocks here, and we're going to want an observer facing straight down on this one. There we go. Next up, we're going to want a block of choice right here, and then right in front of that, we're also going to want a observer facing forward, just like that, and then we're also going to want one more regular piston right here. Now, once you have this, we're going to go ahead and do this 16 times total. So this will be the first time, but we're going to be switching back and forth between honey blocks and slime blocks. So you'll do this level with slime blocks here. Obviously, observer, piston, and then you want your downwards facing observer here, like so. Block of choice, and then you want another observer in front of that block of choice with a piston in front of that observer, just like so. All right, cool. But yeah, once you have done that for each one of these, switching back and forth between your honey and slime blocks, we'll move forward. All right, so next up we're going to go ahead and place our triggers on the back here so we can go ahead and update all of these observers all at once so the entire machine takes off all at the same time. We're going to do this before we have any blocks in front of these pistons up front. You can do this with all glass if you want to, so you can prevent any lag with like lighting updates and whatnot. But I'm just going to do it how I did it in the other build. I'm going to place a light source here, and then I'm going to place 2 pieces of glass, and then another light source, and then I'm going to continue that pattern. So then 2 glass, light source, like so, and then fill in the middle. Perfect. So then yeah, and then we'll come back to this area, but we're going to come back to the front here. We're going to grab our sticky pistons, and then what we're going to want to do is place sticky pistons facing inward on this observer like so. So it should be like this, all the way down. Okay. Now, once you have this, if you started off with your honey blocks here, you're going to want to grab a slime block and place it right there. And then every other one, go ahead and place a slime block. As long as there's a honey block there, you want to make sure it's the other opposite block. What we're going to do, though, is grab our honey blocks and then do the inverted way as well. Now, once we have that, keeping my honey blocks in hand, on the top of this slime block, I'm going to place honey blocks. So same thing all the way down here. And 2 total, of course. And then we're going to switch it up to slime blocks on the ones that we missed. All right, perfect. So it should be looking like that. Next up, what we're going to want to do is grab an observer, place it right here, and then we're going to want that observer to face straight down into the block that it's on. And then we're obviously going to do that all the way down as well. All right, cool. Then yeah, you should be looking at something that looks like this. This is basically the entire front piece of the overall build. But yeah, once you have this, you're ready to move forward. All right, so for the next step, what we're going to do is a little just in case kind of thing here, just in case we update anything as we're placing blocks from now on. We're going to go ahead and just block off this whole front piece with immovable blocks. I've chosen obsidian, and you can just place it in the front of the honey and slime block row right here. Now, once you've done that, we're going to come back to our light and glass area, our trigger area, to add in this like moving door so it updates all at the same time. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with some honey blocks on this side here, and I'm going to count 4 honey blocks, and then we're going to do 4 slime blocks, back to honey blocks, 4, and then 4 more slime blocks. Cool. Now, once you have that, we're going to go ahead and place down an observer right here, and then one right here, so these 2 middle ones are open. Then we can grab sticky pistons and put them straight down like so. Should be looking at that. Then we're also going to do the same thing over here on this side. Go ahead and place our sticky pistons, or you can place your observers first, doesn't matter. Go ahead, and the observers are going to be like just like the other side, like so. Next up, we can go ahead and grab our honey blocks again. Let me pick it. 2 honey blocks here, and then we're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4 slime blocks just like this. We're going to want 1, 2, 3, 4 honey blocks, and then switch back to 2 more slime blocks like so. Now, in which we're going to copy what we just did down here, but right here. 2 observers, sticky pistons straight down. Perfect. And same thing over here. All right, now once you have all of this, we're going to go ahead and grab our honey blocks again. And on this side, we're going to go ahead and put in 6 honey blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should look like that. And then we'll invert that to slime blocks on this side, all the way to there. So once you have this, we are cruising forward. You can place a slime block right here, and then you want a block of choice here, one right there, one here, another slime block coming off, and then a block of choice here. This is where you're going to be standing if you're in survival to update the machine there, and it can fly you up out of the way. And then once your pathway has been made, obviously if you have an elytra, anything like that, you can just, ride on down, walk your path. But yeah, no, as far as that's, we're going to grab our sticky pistons again, and we're going to come off of the top one. No observers on the side this time. It's just going to be 2 sticky pistons straight down. There we go, just like so. On top of that, we're going to go ahead and put 2 slime blocks. We're going to grab our observers again. Better let me pick it. Cool. We're going to place one right here, and then we also want one coming off of the front of the build as well. So you should be looking at that. On the back, I'm just going to place 2 light sources just to kind of light things up. Your preference, you don't have to. Then I'm going to grab my sticky pistons again. We want a face-up sticky piston here, and then a face-down sticky piston like so. Grabbing those slime blocks again, I'm going to put them like this, and then we want another observer on facing into this slime block on the front of the build. So you should be looking at something that looks like this. Next up, what we're going to go ahead and do is come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks. And on that block, you're going to come over 1 block to this one and place an immovable block here. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. This is just to even it up. You don't actually have to have it on this side, but I just wanted to make it look even. And then you can also place a light source on either side as well, just so you can, light things up. But yeah, once you have all of that, you should be looking at this overall mechanism, and we're ready to move forward. All right, so coming around to the back of the machine here, I'm going to grab my redstone blocks, and then from the left, I'm going to place a redstone block on the 2nd, on the 5th, and on the 6th blocks right there. Same thing from this side on the 2nd, on the 5th, and 6th. So you should be looking at this. Next up, I'm going to grab some sticky pistons. I'm going to place one coming off the back of this redstone block, top of that one, side of this one. Side, top, back. You should be looking at this. Next up, we're going to go ahead to this middle area. We're going to place 2 slime blocks in the air like so, and then 2 honey blocks, same thing. And we're also going to place some temporary pistons up here that we're going to be using to push these pieces down. This is obviously, of course, just since we're standing here. Wouldn't be able to do this if this was any lower, but we're also going to place those pistons, 4 of them, straight down, just like this. Once you have that, you can grab any updater block. I'm choosing my redstone block here to push that down. Now this will be the final position for that. Next up, we're going to grab some observers, and we are going to want 4 observers on the back of this total. So 1 there, here, and then 2 on the back of these honey blocks as well. And we're also going to place an observer here, and grab our regular pistons, place 1 there, slime blocks, 1 here, and then 1 there. So you should be looking at this overall shape. Next up, we're going to grab our honey blocks coming off of this sticky piston. We're going to want 2, just like so. Then we're going to place a piston like this, and then slime blocks coming off the top of this sticky piston here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in that shape, and then you want a redstone block right there. Next up, we're going to actually place a sticky piston facing straight down off the bottom of this honey block. And that will be powered by this observer facing into the honey block, just like so. So yeah, once you have that, we're going to go ahead, just in case you missed any of that, we'll do it over here. Again, you have 2 honey blocks facing outwards. Next up, you're going to come back this way with a piston. Coming off the sticky piston, you want 1, 2, 3, 4 slime blocks and a redstone block right there. Now, in which we also want a sticky piston coming straight down off of this block. And once we have that, make sure it's powered with this observer here. Cool. You should be looking at something that looks like this. Next up, we're going to go ahead and move to these outer sticky pistons. I'm going to grab my slime blocks, and we're going to come 1 to the outside, so it's flush with the outside edge, and then 2 to the inside, so it should look like this. Next up, I'm going to grab my sticky pistons. We're going to place 1 on the ground here, observer 1 block in front of that, so right here, and then you want a piston in front of that observer, so you should be looking at this. Next up, we're going to grab those observers again. This one's going to be pointing outwards over this observer, and then we want another observer face down right here, like so. Now after this, we can go ahead and grab sticky pistons real quick. Place 2 just like that, and then we want a regular piston right here on the front. Slime block on the top here, 1, 2, 3 totaled in that shape, and then a redstone block on the top of this slime block here. Awesome. And then just in case you missed any of that, we'll do it again over here. We'll grab our slime blocks. We want 2 inward, so it's nice and even right there. 1 to the outside, so it's nice and flush. And then of course we will go ahead and grab our sticky piston right there, and then we'll place an observer here, and then a piston right there. Cool. Observers again, 1 here, and then we want 1 facing down into this slime block. And then we can grab our sticky pistons, placing 2 just like so. Regular piston in the front, slime block on top of that in this 3 shape, and grab another redstone block, place it on top. Awesome. All right, next step up, we're going to go ahead and grab our slime blocks. Coming off this side sticky piston, we're going to come out 3 slime blocks. Grab our observers, we want 1 right here, and then we want another observer here. We're going to grab our sticky pistons, we want 1 right behind the observer, and then 1 facing straight down off the side of this slime block. Once you have that, we're going to grab our slime blocks again, coming up 3 off that sticky piston like so. Grabbing our observers, we want 1 face up here, and then we want another 1 face down like so. Next up, grabbing those sticky pistons again, we're going to want 1 here, and then we want 3 of them face down. 1 here, 1 there, and then 1 right there. Cool. Coming out of this sticky piston, we want 1, 2, 3, 4 slime blocks like this. Grabbing our sticky pistons, we can come out of the bottom of this slime block and the side of that slime block. You should be looking at this overall. Next up, we're going to grab our observers, and we want to make sure that this sticky piston is powered by this observer, and then this sticky piston is powered by this observer here. All right. Do the same exact thing over here. We want 1, 2, 3 blocks, 3 slime blocks, observer there, observer facing this way, sticky piston behind that observer, and then a sticky piston facing straight down just like so. Excuse me. Now once you have that, again we want the 3 slime blocks right here. Grabbing our observers, we'll put 1 face up here, and then another observer face down like so. You should be looking at this. Next up, we will grab our sticky pistons. We'll need 4 of them total, 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, and then 1 right there, all face down. Slime blocks again, 4 total, just like this. We can grab our sticky pistons. We want 1 on the bottom of this slime block, and then on the side of that one. Grabbing our observers, we want an observer powering that sticky piston. Same thing on the top there. All right, so next up, what we're going to go ahead and do is grab our sticky pistons. We're going to go ahead and place 1 right here. When this observer moves forward, it will tick this sticky piston to grab this honey block. And then we want this shape out of the honey blocks right there. And you can put 2 more honey blocks coming out of that slime block like so. Next up, we're going to grab those observers, place 1 face down like so. Come back around to the inside, and we're going to place a piston on the bottom of that honey block that we just placed the observer on the top of. From here, we're going to go ahead and place a sticky piston right there, and then another observer right there. Awesome. Now we want to grab a piston, place it right here. We'll grab slime blocks, 1, 2, and a redstone block right there. And then in which we want to go ahead and come off of this redstone block with a sticky piston and put a slime block on top of it, and then 3 slime blocks out of the face of it like so. Piston right here. You want a sticky piston on the back of that same slime block, and then an observer facing into that slime block like so. Next up, we're going to grab 3 slime blocks. We're going to come down 1 and then come in 1, or out to the outside 1. Piston there, and then we also need an observer right here. Next up, we'll also place another observer. We're going to need it actually right here. And then we can place a sticky piston coming off of that observer like so, face down. Now this section is going to be pulled forward, or not pulled, pushed forward by this piston, pushing this sticky piston, and then all of these slime blocks will be connected. We want 2 down like so. So you should be looking at this. There's 2 slime blocks here, 2 right there, and then another 2 down like so. Sticky piston face down on the outside. Then you also want another sticky piston here, and then we're going to place an observer. Temporary block first, observer right there, so those can power. But yeah, no, as far as that, we'll go ahead and mirror it over to this side as well. Again, there will be a sticky piston right here. That will grab this honey block, and then we'll go back into this shape. That's 5 honey blocks total, and then come out of this slime block with 2 honey blocks. Next up, we'll grab an observer, place it straight down, so it's facing into the honey block, and then on the bottom of that honey block, we're going to have a piston, just like so. Next up, we can grab a sticky piston, which this will be like the timings. It'll be yanking this back and forth between it, so it's only every other block that this pushes. Then we'll want an observer to power that sticky piston. Cool. Next up, we want to be able to move this sticky piston forward, so we'll put a piston here with those slime blocks. Redstone block. Sticky piston coming off of that. Grab slime blocks, one on top, then this shape. Piston right here. Sticky piston on the back, and then an observer facing straight down into the slime block. Cool. And slime blocks again, 1, 2, 3. Once you have this, you want to come down 1 and then outwards 1. Piston right here, and then you can grab another observer, placing it right there. And then we want another observer to face this way, just kind of hanging out. Sticky piston straight down. Slime blocks, you want 2 here, 2 there, and then 2 straight down from that last one you placed, just like that. Sticky piston straight down right there. A sticky piston facing backwards right there, and then an observer pointing directly into this bottom slime block, just like that. Cool. Alright, next up, what we're going to go ahead and do is grab some slime blocks. Coming over to the side sticky piston here, we're going to come out 3 blocks, and then we want an observer on the bottom of this slime block facing into it. And we want an observer on the top of this slime block facing into it. From here, we're going to go ahead and grab a sticky piston. We want it face down just like so. And then we can also grab another sticky piston, place it here, 1 face down. And you want to grab slime blocks, you want 2 out just like so. 2 observers, just like this. Sticky piston facing backwards, and then a sticky piston facing straight down. Coming out from this sticky piston, we want 1, 2, 3 slime blocks like so, and then we want 1 more to the middle. And we're going to have a sticky piston here, in which from this direction we want a sticky piston here, 1 sticky piston there, and then another one just like so. We can also grab an observer. We may have to remove one of the sticky pistons to place it right here. Go ahead and place it right back in. Awesome. But yeah, once you have this, we're going to go ahead and grab these slime blocks again. Coming off the top of this sticky piston, we want 2 slime blocks. We want to go ahead and grab another sticky piston, place it here, and then we want 1 more face down just like so. And then we can grab another observer, and let's try to place it from the bottom right there. Perfect. You should be looking at this overall so far. Next up, we're going to come out from this sticky piston with a slime block here, 1 more sticky piston, then we want 2 slime blocks like so. Before this gets too crowded, we're going to place a temporary block there, come back in this way so we can place that observer like so. Alright, now coming out from this sticky piston, we want 1 observer here, and then we want 2 more slime blocks right there with a sticky piston on the bottom, and then another sticky piston right here. Next up, we're going to grab 1, 2, 3 slime blocks, then we're going to come down 1, grab an observer, we're going to go ahead and place that right away, facing into that bottom slime block. And then we want a sticky piston facing backwards right there, 1 facing outwards right there, and then on the bottom of that slime block facing outwards as well. Grabbing our observers, we're going to come back this way, and we're going to place a temporary block, and then an observer facing straight down, just so. All right, cool. So you should be looking at something that looks exactly like this. Moving over to this side, just to mirror it up there for you. 3 slime blocks. Observer facing into that one. Observer on the top facing into this one. Sticky piston, always forget. Put it straight down just right there. Sticky piston, and then another face down sticky piston. Well, cool. Slime blocks right here. You want 1 and then 1 to the outside. 2 observers, 1 right there, sticky piston, and then 1 sticky piston straight down. You should be looking at something that looks like this again. From this sticky piston, we want another slime block, and then we're going to come up 2 and then out 1, just like so. We're going to grab an observer. Let's make sure. All right. Yep. So we're going to come up this way, and then we want 1 inward, and then we're going to grab a sticky piston. So let me. And we'll grab an observer, temporary block, place the observer facing into this slime block. Now, from here, what we'll go ahead and do is grab another sticky piston. Well, we're going to want 1 on the top of this one, 1 right there, and then 1 down, just like so. Grabbing an observer, we may have to just break that one real quick, and then replace that sticky piston. This observer is facing into that slime block. Next up, we have 2 more slime blocks, just like so. From here, we will place a sticky piston right there, and then we'll also want 1 more observer. Place it right here. Then we will also want another sticky piston straight down, just like so. Now, from the inside, from this one, we want 1 slime block, another sticky piston. We'll grab an observer, because we'll want it right here. Come out 2 more slime blocks, and put a sticky piston on the bottom of that slime block. Now from here, we're going to grab our slime blocks again, 2 like so. We want a sticky piston right here, and then 1, 2, 3, down 1. Grab an observer, place a temporary block so then that observer can face into here, and then we'll grab our sticky pistons. We want 1 facing backwards, 1 facing outwards, and then another facing outwards on the bottom of that slime block like so. Grabbing that observer one last time, we can place that observer right here, facing straight down into that slime block. All right, real quick fix from the last clip is this sticky piston right here that I placed on this side of the build needs to be underneath this slime block, so facing down underneath it, just like so. All right, and now for the last step, we're going to come over this way to this sticky piston here. We want to come off of it with 3 slime blocks in this shape, and then 3 more off of the last one that you just placed off the bottom. I'm going to grab a sticky piston. We want it on the direct bottom there. We're going to place an observer straight into this slime block. Break your temporary. And we're going to want another 3 slime blocks. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 2, 3, just like so. From here, we're going to want 1 more observer. I can grab one. Put it right there. And then next up, we're going to want a sticky piston here, and then we'll put a regular piston on the bottom facing out like so. Now from this area, we're going to actually want a sticky piston underneath that piston. We'll place an observer, so it'll charge that sticky piston on the ground, and this will all be being pulled forward by this glass, and then these 2 slime blocks on top of it by this sticky piston. Cool. That should be that area. Then you want another slime block here, piece of glass there, slime block in front of it. And we're going to place a observer facing into that slime block, and then we're going to come down this way, grab a sticky piston, turn around, and place a sticky piston directly underneath right there. But yeah, once you have that, that'll be this that segment. We're going to come back up to this sticky piston here. We want 2 slime blocks like so, 2 more coming out of the front like that. 1 more to the back, and then 1 in the middle. So you should be looking at this weirdo looking shape right now. I'm going to grab an observer, place 1 here, and then we want 2 more. 1, 2, like so. Then this sticky piston, when this whole piece is moved, this sticky piston will go first, and then this piston will go second, pushing the block to place. But yeah, once you're looking at that, that's that whole side completed, and then we'll mirror it over here. So again, coming off of, let's do this sticky piston first. We want to go ahead and place 3 slime blocks like this, 3 more slime blocks coming down. From there, we want a sticky piston on the bottom of that slime block. Observer, right here facing into that. And we want 3 more slime blocks like so. I'm going to place an observer right there, and then we want a sticky piston off the back of this slime block, if I can get it. 1 piston right here, and then we want another sticky piston just like so. Place an observer. Goodness, I can't grab it today. Okay, there we go. All right, and then that's going to be pushing, being pulled forward by this sticky piston like so. So yeah, once you have that, we want 1 slime block here, glass block there, slime block, and we're going to have an observer facing into that slime block. And then we're going to come down this way, grab a sticky piston, turn around, and then place it underneath that slime block we just placed the observer on. Cool, so you should be looking at that, and then the last little piece is out from here, and that's 2 slime blocks up, 2 more to the back, and you want 1 on the inside, or 1 to the outside in the middle, and then 1 on the inside at the end. And you're going to grab your observers, place 1 there, and then 2 more, so 1, 2. Then, of course, a sticky piston, and then a piston right. Goodness. Cannot grab a piston. Here we go. All right, and then a piston right there. Perfect. Once you have all of that, you should be looking at the completed build. But I'm going to go ahead and, of course, test this out real fast and then let you know if we're missing any blocks. But yeah, should be done. All right, so checking it over, we have not missed any blocks. There was that 1 sticky piston change. As long as you guys didn't forget that 1 little tiny clip there, then we're all good to go. In which what you can do is come over this way, remove your immovable blocks. Didn't really need them, but that was, of course, just in case we updated anything along the way. Now, obviously, if you're in creative, you can just fly up and you want to update this observer. This will trigger all of this at once. So this whole entire thing will pull up at the same time, making sure that this moves forward perfectly in sync. But from there, if you are in survival, obviously you can come around to this area. You want to come out to this iron block here, and then you can update this observer right here, and then you'll obviously ride your machine up. And then obviously when you start getting a pathway, you can just fly down to it. So just to demonstrate that here, you just update this observer. There you go. And your machine's going to go ahead and take off from down there. And you're safe up here to just kind of watch it, check it out. But that's going to do it for today's video, you guys. I really hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share if you had a great time. And if you want to see more crazy tutorials like this one, I definitely had a blast making this machine and making this video. But yeah, no, next video should be coming pretty soon there. Some fun updates as well, maybe some challenges for everybody. But just, you know, stay tuned. Don't forget to hit that bell button. I'll be here. Next video will be really awesome. Definitely check that one out. But until that next video, you guys, later late.